What do I do first? How would I make the right choice? What questions will help me decide who's best for this job?
I've done this so many times, but still have problems with my selections on occasion. How can I be sure to get the information I need and not make anyone unhappy?
These supervisors have real concerns. There are many theories about how to assess applicants, different interview techniques, and how to make selections. Equal opportunity laws must be carefully considered too, as well as internal operating procedures. There are many ways to assess an applicant. You can compare resumes and applications, seek supervisory appraisals, look at past performance evaluations, and interview, which is often as uncomfortable for the interviewer as it can be for the applicant. Both new and seasoned supervisors are well advised to regularly review the basic principles of preparing a job-related series of interview questions. Job-related. This is the key essential for devising good, substantial questions. Questions which help an applicant to tell you how well qualified that person is for your vacancy. To make interview questions which will elicit useful information, you must know the job, where it is placed in the organization, the degree of responsibility and authority it contains, and the tasks which will be done. You must have a firm idea of the type of performance that will be acceptable. Therefore, you must be familiar with the skills and knowledges that successful performance will require. Skills must be separated into two groups, those which the applicant must bring to the job and those which can be learned once in the job, provided the applicant enters with the proper background.
Let's open by asking the applicants about their background. That way they can expand on their education, where they're from, and their general interests.
That's good. Then we can follow by asking them to discuss their past work experience to find out exactly what their previous duties and responsibilities were and how they'll relate to our job.
These are good opening questions. You have already explained the job and told them about the organization. Now the applicant has the chance to speak and can begin with the information he or she knows best. From the onset, you will begin to discern how much conversational ability, composure, and ability to think under pressure an applicant possesses. Additional questions based on the answers given will encourage further discussion on areas you wish drawn out, such as educational achievement, previous job development, professional likes and dislikes, teamwork, deadlines, and so forth. Try to avoid those questions which require only a yes or no answer.
Let's next ask them to describe themselves. We can compare their views with the one their supervisor provided on the appraisal.
Sure, that will show us how they perceive themselves, how self-reliant, how self-assured they are. We also need to ask whether they can work overtime when we need them.
That's right. Seasonal overtime is a part of this job. But what about personal characteristics?
Good question. What about personal information? This can be a tricky area, but the rule remains the same, job-related. Remember, if the question is at all relevant, it is relevant to all. For instance, if the ability to travel out of town is required for this job, then inquiry should be made of all applicants, not just of the women or older applicants. Some obviously unrelated topics include marital status, daycare needs, political beliefs, church affiliation, and financial status. This list is by no means complete. There can be other more subtle topics. Just remember to logically think out why the question is pertinent to the job to be filled, and if so, then the question either applies to all applicants or it doesn't apply to any.
Let's drop that question asking whether they have transportation. How they get to work, that's their concern, not ours.
Okay, so here's what we have. Tell us about your background. Discuss your work experience. How would you describe yourself? And will you be able to work overtime during our spring and fall peak periods and to meet special deadlines when they occur?
Fine, then we can expand on that depending on their answers.
These two supervisors have developed a good basic interview which gives the applicant an open framework in which to talk and allows for elaboration as needed. Now, to get the most out of the time you will be spending in interviewing, some good techniques should be observed. Set the applicant at ease, be courteous and gracious. Schedule a sufficient amount of time for each applicant. Listen to what they're saying and observe them. Tell them what they need to know about the job. Let them know when the interview is over and ask for final questions. Take notes, but do your analysis afterwards.
But wait, how do we record the information?
Yes, how do we keep it all straight?
Make short, specific notes during the interview and expand on them after the applicant has left. You can make a matrix of the points you are looking for on which to compare your applicants. But if you do use a matrix, record only relevant information and leave out any references to such non-related factors as sex, age, or personal appearance. If you wish to use a point system, keep it short. Any more than a range of 4 points will make it difficult for you to make meaningful distinctions. All of your interview notes will become part of the selection record and are therefore subject to review. A reviewer should see only job-related factors and be able to determine why you made the selection you did.
Thanks. We're ready now.
One final point, and it's an important one. When you tell an applicant you are going to phone with a decision by a certain date, be sure to make that call. So, know your job, be prepared, and relax. An interview is really just people meeting people, a conversation with a purpose. Your servicing personnel office will explain the technical aspects of using a roster or certificate of eligibles and is available to help you with the selection process. Good luck!